The primacy of Peter.
When our Lord said to Peter,
"And I will give thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven."
He clearly meant,
"I will give you supreme authority over my church. You shall be my representative."
the true test of loyalty to Christ is not only to believe in Him and worship Him, but to honor and obey the representatives He has chosen.
Our Lord chose Saint Peter as his vicar. It is rebellion against Christ to say to him,
"I will worship you, but I will not recognize your representative."
this is what Christians do, who deny the authority of the successor of Peter.
Did Christ give special power in His church to any one of the apostles?
Christ gives special power in his church to Peter by making him the head of the apostles and the chief teacher and ruler of the entire church. When Simon, led by his brother Andrew, first met Christ, our Lord said to him, "Thou art Simon, the son of John. Thou shalt be called Cephas."
Where did Peter make his memorable confession of faith?
At Caesarea Philippi, Peter made the memorable confession of faith in the name of the apostles. Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. Christ promised to make Peter the head of his church. Our Lord changed Simon's name to Peter, which means rock. He said that he would make Peter the rock on which his church should be founded. As the foundation of a building holds up, supports, and preserves a building, so Peter was to hold the same office for Christ's church.
Why did our Lord promise to Peter the keys of the kingdom of heaven?
Our Lord promised to Peter the keys of the kingdom of heaven. In ancient as well as modern times, keys are a symbol of authority. He who lawfully carries the key to the building has the right himself of entering and of admitting and excluding others.
Christ, after the resurrection, fulfilled his promise and appointed Peter head of the church.
The sheep of Christ are those who submit to Him, the Good Shepherd. Never did God say to any other apostle, "Feed my whole flock." As the shepherd is responsible for the flock, he is given authority comparable to his responsibility.
Christ also conferred on Peter special marks of distinction not conferred on the other apostles. He gave him a new name. He chose him as a companion of the most solemn occasions. After the resurrection, he appeared to Peter first before showing himself to the other apostles.
The church is the visible society that is. It is composed of human beings. It needs a head as well as any other organization. Christ is always its invisible head, but it needs a visible head to take his place among men.
Did Peter exercise his primacy?
Yes, Peter actually exercises primacy, and the other apostles and disciples recognize him as the head of the church.
Proofs that Peter exercised his primacy.
Peter's name always stands first in the list of apostles, while Iscariot's name is always last. It was Peter that proposed the election of another to take the place of Judas.
It was Peter that preached the first sermon on the day of Pentecost. It was Peter that admitted the first converts from Judaism as well as from paganism. Peter worked the first miracle. Peter meted out the first punishment.
Peter cast out the heretic Simon Magus. Peter made the first visitation to the churches. In the first council at Jerusalem, there was much disputing, but when Peter spoke, all have submitted.
After his conversion, St. Paul presented himself to Peter. Of the early churches established by the apostles, the Church of Rome was the highest rank. It was the see of Peter.